And this is a huge motivation for me to not let people down. And the other aspect is that you just can't give up.
Some customers are with you because they like you, not the company, not the services, because maybe many companies can do similar services, but because of you.
Because when you go to the customer and you tell me that we are very efficient and effective and technologically advanced, it doesn't sell, to be honest. But what sells is your previous experience, when you can show the customer that, okay, we have done that.
Welcome to Inner Power Particles. I'm Farhad, the host of the podcast. We talk with entrepreneurs and leaders about how they have solved the challenges in their life or business and how it has transformed into new inner strength in them. And with this we want to help that you also can look at your life or business situations and see how you can solve the challenges in them, and through that transform them also into new inner strengths, inner power particles in you. Enjoy the show. Hi Rem.
Hello.
Thanks for coming and thank you for finding time for the interview. I want to start with a simple question. Could you share with us what do you do today?
Okay, I am in between jobs because I am CEO of my own company called Lightsoft, and we do software development. And then literally 1 month ago we did a merger with another company, and now there's a bigger company called Baltic Software Factory, and there I am head of sales and head of development.
And also a shareholder, co-founder.
And co-founder, yeah.
And just to clarify for myself, after this merger, Lightsoft will not continue to do services, or what's your plan?
The idea would be to phase it out in a couple of years, yeah. So because we have large customers with long-term projects, and we can't really like switch and say that here we are, the new company will phase it out. But yes, in a couple of years there will be just one company, Baltic Software Factory.
Okay, it's a very interesting story then to listen, like a merger, with whom and why. So let's start with whom are you merging, and not only from the business perspective, but who are the people behind, and how do you know that they are the right people with whom to collaborate?
Okay, that's a good question. The merger is between myself and a very good friend of mine which I know from school, and his name is Oskars. He's one of the smartest people I know. So this is one perspective why I wanted to do that, and the other one is he helped me a lot in school and in university, so I wanted to help his company as well to develop. But even with that, even with knowing the person for 30 years or so, it was a hard decision to go for this merger. Because when you have your own company and you are like the only boss here and the only one who makes all the decision, who gets all the profits or gets all the pain if something goes wrong, it's difficult to let go.
Mm-hmm. So you were a solo founder in your company, right?
Yes, that's right.
And now you will be two-founder company.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And we have an additional woman which is joining us as CEO of the company.
CEO?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically the idea was, I had my own company for, I think it's already 12 or maybe 14 years.
Yeah.
And this one reason was for this, I wanted to let a bit go, and it was harder and harder to have all the responsibility. So we decided with my friend, with Oskars, he had the same issues, that it was difficult for him to be alone in this world.
Yeah.
And we decided that we can't be two guys, because when there are two decision makers, it's sometimes very difficult. So we decided to bring in the third one, and she would be like, basically we had the majority, basically two people are enough to decide on which way to go for the company.
And the third person, how did you choose her? So I understand.
It was a long process. We basically headhunted her. Her name is Olga. She was already we already tried with one different person, but it didn't work out. We found out we started to even working together for several weeks, but we just figured out that it won't work. And then we found Olga. She's like a manager for also a large IT company in Latvia, and with all the credentials, and we knew her.
You know her from the past, yeah?
A bit, yes.
Yeah.
And my partner, Oskars, knew her even better. He worked with her. So it was, I hope it is just the beginning. She's been working for us for 2 months or so, and we are still trying to know each other better. It's still in progress. I hope everything works out, because I know that I'm not an easy person to work with.
You know that you're not, okay.
No, because for more than 10 years I have never taken any decisions from anyone, right? It's just me, and it's my company, and I was very strict. Even, yeah, I wouldn't say it's like the Soviet time strict where you just had the decision and we go and like this, but I was authoritative, very.
Yeah.
And now I have a boss. Okay, I am a boss of my boss, but again, she's my boss. In a way, so it's interesting.
Okay, so you have set up interesting experience ahead for you.
Yeah.
To see how it will work. And so you're your co-founder now. How will you distribute the responsibilities between you two?
Yeah, we had this meeting literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where we decided, okay, because when you do the merger, you can't figure out everything right from the beginning, because then it's too much planning, and when you have too much planning, you plan for a year, and then some things happen, and you have your current projects where you have to work. It's just impossible. So we did the merger, and only 2 weeks ago, after the merger is already done, we sat together, 3 people, and thought, okay, so who from us knows how to run projects? Okay, Olga knows how to run projects, I know, Oskars a bit. Okay, so this is a role that everyone can take. And then we thought, okay, who can do sales? And everyone looked at me, and I was like, damn it, because this is the hardest part of the running, that like being, I think, so basically it was democracy and 2 against 1. I was against being the sales, but I'm the sales of the company, because basically no one could take this responsibility.
But why not hire someone?
Possible, we're working on it, so it's very possible. So for example, I'm coming up right now with the sales strategy, because super difficult. We're a small company, we're like 40 people, 50 people maybe, depending on how you count. But I have a sister, Helga, she works at a company Tieto Every, and they have 20,000 people or so. And she went just a couple of days ago to Toronto to a very big banking conference.
Yeah.
And she said, we, with our 20,000 employees, we're nothing in the global banking sector. And so we feel so small. And then basically I understood that feeling small, it's completely natural, a normal state. And we have so many challenges. Basically there are companies in Accenture, Latvia, they have 1,000 employees or so. And there are other large companies with good backgrounds and good people, and everything just fine, and we need to compete with them. And then because what we do both for Latvia, and we try to do also outsourcing to Europe and United States.
Sales,
yeah.
Okay.
And there's even bigger problem because there's Ukraine, for example. If you type in your internet search outsourcing software, and Ukraine, for example, it will be like tens of companies with thousands of employees.
So basically you are in the red ocean and you are responsible to get out of it.
Yeah, basically sometimes it's even hard I try sometimes not to think about it, because basically I have half of a year, and if I do not sell next year for, I don't know, 4 to 5 million euros projects, it will be a problem. And I hope it doesn't happen, and it probably won't happen, but I'm working on it. So yes, so I'm having a meeting with all the people I know in Latvia. I'm trying to find a sales mentor for myself, because I've never had a single training course on how to sell whatsoever. Okay, I've done it for a couple of years, but sometimes it feels that it is just a luck or being in the right place at the right time. I don't know.
So you've been running your company more than 10 years. Now you're merged, you have a 50 people team. There are many much smaller firms doing software development, and you are saying that you might have sales challenges ahead. But what got you through those 10 years in your business? Because you might have given up at any moment, but you got clients, you were serving them, so what got you through? If you say you don't know how to sell.
First of all, it's probably the motivation, and two aspects of it, basically. One aspect would be that you do not want to fire people because you have no next project for them. Right? Because in software development, it's project-based. It's like also consulting companies have the same issue. Basically, one project starts, you put 5 people in this project. The project ends after half a year, maybe 2 years, and those 5 people are now free and they need to be put in the next project. If you do not have this next project, the cost, you know how much software developers earn these days. The cost is enormous. So basically you have to fire them. And for all those more than 10 years, I have never been in situation that I have to fire someone because I did a bad job and didn't sell something. I've always found some project, some opportunity. And this is a huge motivation for me to not let people down. Mm-hmm. And the other aspect is that you just can't give up. So basically, the world is so big, and I think that we do a good job. I hope so. I think that we are better. I should think that we are better than other companies, right? Otherwise, why would we do that at all? And so if I have good people, and no one wants us, so it's clearly my problem or my mistake. So with that attitude, I go through the doors of new customers and try to find the new opportunities and new cases, new projects.
Mm-hmm. I think in the software development industry we could look at slightly similar as, for example, restaurants or books or musicians. There are so many restaurants. There are so many books. Let's take, I don't know, books on sales or books on self-development. There are so many already. Why write another one? Why open another restaurant? But people do it, and some fail, some succeed. And then those who succeed, it's either a niche thing, I don't know, open very niche Thai food, upscale or downscale restaurant, or it's just a good place that vibes with certain type of people. So in that sense, also in the business where you are in, some customers are with you because they like you. Not the company, not the services, because maybe many companies can do similar services, but because of you and your attitude and your energy.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree that there's The world is so big that basically you can't really be unique. It's okay, there are some really unique cases. Apple, for example, right? They were unique with their iPhone and some of their projects, but not all of them. Nowadays, phone is a phone. So we can't be unique really. Maybe we can, but at least at this point, I haven't found this niche specialization where basically if you Google who can develop, I don't know, anything, basically there will be tens of companies already in front of you. So we do exactly what you suggested, that we try to sell ourselves, our attitude towards the work and our effectiveness and our excellence, technological excellence. It's difficult to, it always sounds a bit like buzzwords and marketing. Sometimes it sounds like that, because when you go to the customer and you tell me that we are very efficient and effective and technologically advanced, it doesn't sell, to be honest. But what sells is your previous experience, when you can show the customer that, okay, we have done that and we've developed this system for this customer, and when you have a good references, and because basically competitiveness in the market is huge, because it's not about Latvia or Baltics. We have in our company people working from Ukraine, for example, and I know there are projects happening where people are from India, and we have to be very competitive in terms of, because we are expensive, we are not cheap. In Latvia and in the Baltics, it was some 10 years ago when the hourly rate for the software developer, Java software developer, for example, was low. But nowadays it's not. Yeah. It's hard question how to compete in here, how to compete in Germany, in Sweden, in Norway. It's difficult. But the idea would be that we try to sell our attitude mostly. Not the technology, because technology changes.
Yeah, you mentioned that you always got through these slopes when you need the projects to not let go people. So I would then, at least from my side, reflect back that it illustrates determination and grit and strong character. But how has it been for you personally, if you would speak like these 10 years, leading the company alone, going through these slope struggles? How did you experience it? Has it been easy? Has it been hard? Some people burn out from such experiences. Maybe you can share some of these personal side of things.
Okay, I would say that it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Stress, it's at least for me. And when I went to school, I thought that I am a pretty chilled and laid back guy, and I do not stress about anything, and even compared to my peers. But to be honest, it's been sometimes very difficult. Basically, for example, there was a time, maybe 5 years ago, when, for example, when company was in debt, and the debt was about €500,000. Mm-hmm. And if this debt would be to banks, probably the easiest way would be just to go bankrupt. But this debt was to my friends. Mm-hmm. And you can't...
Meaning you had borrowed money from
yes,
friends?
Yes, exactly. I had borrowed money from friends and friends' companies just to survive. And basically I had so many cases when it was basically, I didn't know. Okay, thankfully the time has passed a bit. But still, there were cases some few years ago when it was on me to find the money for next salaries. And you know, for employees, the salary is the most important thing always, because it would completely destroy the company if I couldn't find some money. Okay, nowadays I got out of the debt for some time right now, and we're doing fine, and really fine. Financially, company is doing good, and personally, I'm doing better. But exactly, if we go back to the decision about this merger, one of the reasons we, both me and my friend Oskars, we took into account was that we need to have a financial stability. And if you have the project-based operations, the bigger the company, the easier is to ride the waves of the project starting and ending. Basically, when I had 5 people, it was crazy difficult, because basically if you didn't find the project right away, you had to figure out something. But nowadays you can always switch guys to some different customers, let them learn something, and it's much easier.
On the bench,
yeah, exactly.
But I want to still probe a bit, if you can share this, to owe $500,000 to your friends for a while. Of course, if you see very clearly ahead, okay, I will get these customer payments and it comes back, then it's fine. But still, how did you experience it? How was it emotionally, physically? I've heard people sharing stories like experiencing this really tough on their emotional, physical, mental being. How has it been for you?
First of all, it was difficult, but then again, there was no other way, meaning that I would never borrow money if I wouldn't be 100% sure that I will be able to get it back.
Yeah.
But of course I didn't know how much work it would take me to get this back. And also, and stress was enormous sometimes. Yeah, I was on antidepressant pills for some time, and I had sleepless nights, and it was so. Yeah, it was a difficult time. But then again, when now I am out of it, it feels like it was a good experience. It was even, I would say, it was fun, in a way how you have fun when you run a marathon, for example. You at kilometer 10, you are already exhausted till the end, but you know that you are nothing. You are just in the beginning, and you continue running, and it's hard and it's difficult, and you're sweating and you're tired, but you continue.
But we chatted before, you shared that actually you were also knocked out from the marathon for a while. Can you share about this experience?
Yeah, it was actually, it's a good thing. It's a strange thing what happened to me. I'm now 42, but at the age of 40, I got a heart attack. And the strange thing is that doctors still to this day really don't know why, because I am mostly healthy.
Why? What about stress?
Exactly.
Immense amounts of stress.
Exactly. So that's exactly my understanding. Actually, no, there's almost no doctor who says directly that, okay, there's a general idea that stress is bad for you. But then again, that stress can do that. There's no scientific studies, because it's impossible to do such a study or so. But yes, I've done this heart attack I had approximately 1.5 years ago, and after that I went to 1 million doctors.
But
Yeah.
how did you experience? What happened? Were you in hospital for a while, or you blacked out?
It was just a pain in the chest, and it was a funny story because I just felt that something is wrong, and I thought that I've never suspected my heart because I do all sorts of sports and I'm not overweight, and which would be all the reasons why would you have a heart attack, right? And I have no such problems in my family, etc. But the end was very simple. I felt bad, and and basically my wife. I asked my wife in the middle of the night, can she drive me to the hospital? And
So your intuition was saying that.
yes, and I went to the hospital, and the nurse, she was like, "Go home. There's nothing wrong with you. And maybe get a visit to cardiologist. Maybe it's something with your heart." And I was like, "Okay, but can you please wait for 3 to 5 minutes and just look at me?" And she said, "Okay, I have a line of patients waiting, but okay, I'll wait with you for a minute." And we waited, and basically I was already in the hospital. And this heart attack basically hit me the strongest point in front of the nurse. And she already, and I was like blacking out already. My heart and chest pain was terrible, and I was already sweating, and basically I was dying in front of her. And luckily the hospital it was the best hospital in Latvia for heart surgeries. And basically she just, this guy is having a heart attack, it's completely clear. And basically I think it was not more than 10 minutes and I was already on the table for operation.
So you had a surgery?
Yes, I had a surgery.
What did they do?
Nothing much. They basically they found the place where there was the blood valve. It was completely closed off.
Uh-huh.
And this is one of the main ones, and they just put a so-called stent in it, and that's fine. And after half an hour, I was still alive.
But I sense it's like because of stress, like and then maybe this is what happened. Like.
Yeah, and that's the interesting. Yeah, I think so too. I think that, and then the question is what to do now.
Uh-huh.
Because maybe I do not have all the debt anymore, but still after this heart attack I have still a project to run, and I'm the only one as a CEO of my company.
You cannot take 3 months vacation now, right?
No, I cannot take my vacation, and to be honest, nothing has changed. And what I did again, I walked to so many doctors, and they didn't find anything wrong with me. My natural conclusion, first of all, was that probably it was because of the stress, and then I decided that I had a near-death experience very clearly. Because basically, just a few days before the event in the hospital, I was near Daugavpils in the woods, walking around with my friends, and basically if that happened there, I would definitely die. So it was pure luck. Maybe it was luck, or maybe it was fate, but anyway. So the question is what to do now.
Yeah.
And basically I figured out that there are two kinds of people. There are people who have this near-death experience and nothing changes, and then there are people who radically changed their life, right? And I decided that it would be fun to be the one who is trying to radically change my life. So
you went into changing your life?
Yes.
Okay, what did you change?
Hard to say. First of all, there are two things. Basically, there is this objective reality, and then there's the soul searching and inner self searching, and this part. And at least I can tell definitely that, for example, this company merger, which I wouldn't do it if without this my experience. Basically, I did a conscious decision to maybe not be anymore the only one, the only boss, and I just let go and I said, okay, it's just a company, and why wouldn't I want to share this with my best friend?
So it's to let go some control.
Yes.
Instead, face some fears of losing control also.
I'm having those fears still every day.
Now you are facing them, those fears of losing
yes,
control.
it's when we signed the papers, I was like, and when we switching the employees, I moving from one company to another, and then I'm transferring my projects to Olga, our new CEO.
Yeah.
And it's hard every day. Like literally yesterday, I decided I had a talk with my mentor, and he said, why are you doing your job, which is sales and development? Because I have project. Why haven't you let it go? And I truthfully said, because these are my projects. I found them, and these are my customers. I want to talk with them, and these are my people. And of course, I understand but one thing is to understand what you have to do with your brain, and the other thing is to feel and change your feeling about it. So anyway, getting back to the changing of my life, this was a really practical thing I did. Like a money involved thing I did. I basically sold my company, I would say. Maybe not sell, but yeah, we merged. So let go of my full responsibilities and got some new challenges. And also, and then there's other part, and it's difficult because I have thought about it a lot, about how people can change and can they change, and meaning that normally we can't. Normally to change, it's so difficult. It's to be naive to think that you can wake up and be a different person. At least I haven't found any case. Maybe there are some cases. I haven't seen a person who has just decided to be a much better person. Okay, you can change and you can become a worse person, probably. You can start doing drugs or so. But if you want to become really good, it probably doesn't work. It maybe works for one day, or maybe it works for a week. But basically, it's a difficult thing. So right now, my challenge is that I've decided that I need this change, and not only outside change, but also this inner change. And for example, one reason I am here today is that I decided that I won't fear interviews anymore. Yeah.
But this is example of gradual. I want to object a bit to what you said, that people can't change. People can change with gradual steps up and also with gradual steps down. It's the cumulative effect. Of course, in the beginning, you can't even see it. Every day for 3 years you do something internally. I mean, for example, I've been working with acceptance. Just accept stuff. For 2 years I can't accept them. Getting irritated all the time. And then suddenly on the 3rd year I feel, I can start to accept stuff. And then when I accept stuff, I start to see different ways how to approach the stuff that I wasn't accepting before.
Yes.
And another thing is those life kicks. You got a kick from life, this near-death experience. This is another thing where, yes, you don't change because of that, but this gives you enough of a kick to decide, will I want to stay the same or will I change? Just the other day I was joking with my colleague, sharing a story. So I asked her, how she was driving from Riga to quite far town late at night, and I joked, good that we don't have our 8 o'clock meeting tomorrow, but we never have those. We start at 10 earliest. Okay. And then I told her a story that 12 years ago, for me a normal practice was to start management meeting on Mondays at 6:30 a.m.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And she said, oh, thanks God, I didn't know you back then. So that's an example of change in the mindset, because like now I look back, I think like how stupid it was to torture management team like this.
Yeah. My big change I am doing right now, again, from the practical perspective, I do meditation.
Yeah.
A lot, like an hour a day. But one thing, basically, what also already has changed is that basically, I'm not exaggerating, like for 10 years, I woke up and I felt the heaviness of new day, let's say. I felt that, okay, I now have to do that and decide on this and do that. Now already it's gradual, but I would say maybe it's very exciting time for me right now because it's happening right now. It's a couple of months. I know I wake up and I feel optimistic about the day. I wake up and I do not feel tired right away. And sometimes even if I feel tired, I do a 15-minute meditation and I bring love to my heart, and the day changes right away.
So this is also a good example.
It matters a lot to me. It's still research from my side in progress. Research in progress to understand, does this new attitude also helps you in physical world? Does it, for a very simple question, when I can go to customer, and sometimes I can go to customer and with more compassion and more love in my heart, and I don't know, does he feels that, does anything changes? I don't know, I'm finding it out, we'll see. But at least I know that for me, at least it changes a lot. It changes my everyday, because I could easily say that I was unhappy for 10 years, and I am trying to change myself that I should be happy in every day, and I'm changing it. I'm trying to be happy.
But it's a combination of things you are doing. You are changing the inner approach, how you are approaching yourself and your life, but you're also changing things in the material world. This is this combination. There's actually a third thing, I don't know if you are working on this, you could share, which is how you relate to your past. Because any types of regrets or resentments towards past also are impacting today.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Yeah, so I've been going to a therapist for 10 years.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, huge waste of time. But because I've never with therapist, at that time I was not ready to change.
Okay.
But right now I'm talking with people, with my mentors, with my colleagues, and I am trying to be open, and this is completely different experience. Again, the same thing with this thing, meditation. It's so easy to do meditation without any. It's basically you can meditate for a year and it won't help you at all if you do not do it the right way somehow. And when you see how to do it correctly.
What is this? How to do it correctly?
I think it can't be told.
Okay.
I think I've tried to speak about that with my wife, but it's about feeling, and it can't really be told, I think. That's the bad thing. Just as you mentioned, the books, there are self-help books, right? Lots of them. and you can read them and they are true and you agree with them, but then again, using that, it's a completely different story. And the same here. I don't know what I do differently. Maybe I'm starting to feel the world, and it sounds borderline crazy, but we'll see. So far, so if we look again, I am a very practical guy with my computer science education and basically it's a big experiment, this life, my life currently for me, and I'm just trying something new and waiting for the results. And the good thing is that I've done it only for a year or so, and the results are already here, some of the results. So I basically, because what you do, you can't measure it, but I just feel more happy in my life, and I feel more love towards my family. I feel more joy in my work. I have less stress, which is good because I probably won't have another heart attack hopefully in a couple of years.
Hopefully never.
Hopefully never, but again, the science is against me. The science would say that, unfortunately, and that is true, I've read it. The science is that if you have one heart attack, it's high probability that you will have another one and another one. But then again, the data is so inconclusive, meaning that the whole experiments or data gathering they have done, its sample group is so small. It's that I will try to show them, and there are always exceptions, so I will try to show them that it will not be the case for me.
This repetition in heart attacks might be because the first one came because of a certain lifestyle, and then if no change happened in the lifestyle, then the other.
Exactly.
Or even not the lifestyle, but the attitude to life, towards life. I wanted to ask you, you shared these experiences where the pivotal moment for you was the heart attack. Now for someone who's listening and they are in a situation where they also feel waking up in the morning with a burden, stress always, not much light in work, so that they don't wait for their heart attack, what would be your advice or perspective, some thoughts that you might share? Hey, if you are experiencing this, don't wait for the heart attack or for something else, but instead, what?
Okay, very hard to answer your question. I think, first of all, I would like to say to those people that you really don't have to have a heart attack to make a change. A heart attack maybe for me was just this first impulse, and when you start to think about your life and what could be wrong with your life, and you start to think about that life will end for all of us at one point, and you start to think, how do you want to live further? And there's okay, for me, heart attack was an important starting point for my change, but it doesn't have to be. It was nothing. I could figure out, I could be a logical person, and I could figure out, just look at your life. And if you see that you are not happy with your life, that's a good enough reason to change. And okay, I had this medical condition, that's even more reason to change, but it doesn't have to be. So just look at your life and see, are you happy with it? And at least I am in my 40s now, in midlife, so it's natural to look at your life. And if I see that for a whole huge period, like 10 or maybe 20 years, I have had everything. I have my company, I have my house, I have my car, I have my motorcycle, I have my family, I have 3 children, but I'm not happy. So it's something that's need to be dealt with. And so the question, how to practically, it unfortunately comes down to individual, I think, person decide what you have to decide what is wrong in your life. If you are unhappy, if you are happy, then live further as you were. But if you are unhappy, and I think many people are unhappy, they should look for a change and figure out what is wrong with them. Unfortunately, again, I'm want to look at this point from a scientific point of view. I have my own experience. I know what happened to me, so I can tell that yes, if you have exactly that you have this bad feeling, and basically for me, the answer was for my case, the answer was to start to feel. Because again, a bit the interesting story, it was 20 years ago or more when I practically I was in my university already working as a software developer, and basically I found out that the world is a very harsh place. Basically it requires from humans to act as robots, I would say, because what is an ideal successful person? Who wakes up early, who goes to work, who does his job, he comes back, goes to sleep, next day he again wakes up, goes to work, does his job the best he can, and etc. It's similar it's basically every manager or owner wants more of those robot type people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, at least in software development, definitely, yes, more robots better. And then there could be an active choice for you, because yeah, exactly, no one wants uniqueness. At one point yes, but at least in the beginning you do not want uniqueness from the guy who puts I don't know, roofing on your house. Yeah. You don't want uniqueness, you want a steady, good, hard-working guy. And then what you have to do, you have to switch off your emotions, you have to switch off your humanity inside yourself. And unfortunately, if you want to succeed, you have to become this business robot, sort of say. But at one point you have to switch it back, because you want to live.
Even if that means big changes in the
Even if that
life.
means big changes, and for me it's a work in progress for me. Maybe everything will go wrong with me because I'm switching back my emotions and switching back my human being in my work attitude as well. I don't know how it will work. So far it has been working for me, so far it is good, but come back to me in a couple of years and I will tell you. Because again, if we look at it from a scientific point of view, I'm just one case, and I'm experimenting on myself. But what else can you do, right? Because basically the science for how to behave and what is the correct life choices, it's just not there. The physics is okay. We are pretty good at studying and understanding physics, where it comes to like even, I don't know, astronomy and astrophysics and how the bodies interact with each other. But when we are talking about human brain and human society, which is by far the most complex thing in the universe that we have, human brain is millions times more complex than any star. For example, star, it's just a simple gas, the cloud of gas which is burning, and we are studying stars, and with some difficulties, right? So it's completely natural that we know nothing about human brain and nothing about human society, which is even more complex because you have to have multiple brains interacting with each other.
But sorry to interrupt you here.
Yes.
Before we go in this, I want to still conclude the previous thread which you shared about this switching emotions and feelings off and then switching them back. I wanted to reflect back that I feel that this is very good and important thing that you've done, and I really wish that people are attracted to you who want also the same thing, both from the team side and from the client side. So for those who are listening, who consider in the near or further future that yes, we need a software solution, I understand that we are talking about web-based software solutions.
Usually.
And if you want to work with a team that is also alive, not just a team of robots, then this is a place to go. That's what I wanted to add from my side here.
Yes. When I switched those emotions back and this humanity back, it feels like for me that people are hearing me better and feeling me better. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I've never asked a person like, okay, customer, now what do you think of my, have I changed? Have you seen that change? Of course not. That would be just weird. When we are in a meeting, we are still professionals, so we'll see. I hope that they see that and the positive change in me, and if they don't, it's fine. It's not really, you can't really satisfy everyone and get every customer, and so in the end for me this single most important thing is that basically when you wake up, do you feel energized and happy to start your day or not? Even if you have some huge problems, if you feel happy, then for me it's the greatest achievement ever, because as I said, I literally for tens of years I've never felt happiness in the mornings, and even though I was successful. So it's something within, not the outside.
So this also means that the definition of success you are referring to in the, let's call it, previous phase of life, and now the previous one probably was not your own definition of success, but like what the general expectation is. But now perhaps you have your individual formula for what is success for you.
Yes, it's basically, I would say that you have to have a balance, meaning that I think you can't have a happy life and a good feeling about yourself if you have done nothing in the physical world. It's again the question, if we talk about the country India, then it's a spiritual mecca for spirituality, but then you go there, and this is from stories because I haven't been to India, but basically the poverty, and it's hitting you really hard. So basically you have to have both, and there isn't, I think, at least for me, it's not really clear how to have both, because you want to be a robot, you have to be a robot, but you can't be happy being a robot. Probably you can't be. Maybe someone can. So I can speak just from my personal experience. So it is a journey for everyone, and with not a lot of clear answers here. But I would anyway encourage, I think everyone tries to find happiness, what is happiness for him or her. So I would encourage to do the change, try out new things and look what works for you. And if my story helps you at any point or resonates somehow, then that's good. That means that we are a bit alike, but maybe you are a completely different person, and maybe something else works for you. I don't know.
That's a wonderful story. Also, I want to conclude with one thought that when you speak about change, I see that the change goes actually in 4 dimensions. One, the simplest to understand is the external. Change the company setup, the role, place where you live, something. But then the second is the change towards the past. I mentioned already, if you scan and you feel I have resentment, guilt, shame about something, so to work through those feelings and let them go, because those attachments still drain of energy. Then the third is relationship to today, inner relationship. I wake up, am I grateful for what I have? Can I accept what I don't like around me? And then the last dimension is relationship with the future, which if in a negative way, then affects people basically in two ways. Either it is fear.
Yeah.
I fear future a lot, so there comes this stress. Or it is illusion. Meaning some people live in a very rosy illusion about fear, and, it all will be good, and not in a trustful way, because one is to be I trust that things will be okay, yes, but illusionary ways, just go with the flow, and then with the flow you are in the wall. So not this type of.
That's true. I would completely agree that we are defined by our past. So to understand yourself, you have to deal with your past. And of course, all the self-help books are telling us, just let go of your past and forgive. And it works. It works.
Yes.
So about the future, I am, by definition, I am a project manager. So project manager's job is to look for risks. It is now basically, I have had so many courses and I've read so many books, so basically that its job is to look for risks. And it's hard and it's difficult to not become afraid. Basically, because when I drive my motorcycle, I look for risks all the time. I see this car can go like this, and the person is going over the road, and etc. And I see death coming to me all the time. And at the same time, I need to not fear it. I have no answer to this. How to do that? The fear of the future and all the possible bad things I can imagine. I'm still working on it. As I told you before, so in the beginning of the interview, I have to sell that amount of millions of euros or we'll get bankrupt, and that's a real fear in me, and I have to deal with it somehow. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm trying to figure it out for myself. Maybe I'm not there yet in my journey.
The focus of these interviews is more to look at the past and how we have gotten to here.
Yeah.
And now you touch the topic of future. Maybe there one keyword is trust, because other is to be realistic. But I feel you are very realistic and realistically approaching things. I also trust that once you now shared some of the things concerning future that you need, that the right support will come to you.
It's how you look at things. Either you are a person who believes in fate but I'm not sure about that. At least for the most of my life, I've been the guy who believes in randomness of life.
Yeah.
So that means that even if you do all the right things,
random stuff will happen.
You could fail. That's the main idea. You could fail, and your company can fail, and your family can fail, and everything can fail. There's a chance, even if you do all the right things. This is one of the philosophies of how to look at the life. So, and how to not be afraid of this failure and of this randomness. I don't know. Probably one way would be to understand that it is not really helpful. If you are doing all the right things and if you fail, so you failed, so what? So you anyway have done all the right things. So what could you do more? Nothing, right? So there's no really reason for. So yeah, exactly. So basically, some random bad thing can happen you at any moment in your life, and it would be irrational to be afraid of it, because it doesn't help you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
It is understandable that there is a fear that the brick will fall from the roof and will hit you, but it doesn't help you in any way. If you think that, because you can't really be afraid of every brick in a world.
Yes. So in a way, it's, if you cannot affect it, why be afraid? If you can affect it, why be afraid?
Exactly.
Yes.
So I would say that probably even if you are afraid, my solution is always to do something. Actually, it's maybe sometimes even my problem. Whenever I am in doubt, I do stuff instead of not doing it, not doing something. Basically, which is strange approach. Usually it's with the people, it's a different way. When they are in doubt, they stall and they can't make a decision, so they don't decide not to make a decision. For me, it's the other way around. If I see a difficult decision, I stall sometimes for the last moment, but I usually decide on taking an action. Not just leaving things as they were, I take an action. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but I guess for the majority of time it works. Mm-hmm. Making an action is better than just not doing anything. And so if you have a risk, the project will fail, go talk with customer, not go talk with customer. Better go talk with customer.
But it's absolutely, I agree.
I think so. Again,
of course, sometimes like hectic reaction is not the way to go, but if there's a risk and just talk, yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to conclude our conversation with one key takeaway that I take from our conversation, and I think it's the general through line here, is that you cannot actually live like this, as using your words, as a robot, because then life leads you in the place where the heart even switches off. So the way to go is to switch back your feelings and emotions and live as a human with all the irrationality of human.
Yeah, which is definitely not the most effective way to be. Being human is not effective. But it's still the better choice for our lives, because we have one life. At least something so.
That's already another chapter.
Yes, exactly.
Another interview.
Exactly. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rem, for today.
Thank you.